Welcome to Cine Pro, where we bring your favorite movies back to life with quick recaps, hidden details, and everything you missed. In one of the American prisons in the South, Jack was arrested on charges of killing his girlfriend Casey and her disappearance with all his friends while they were on a trip to a forest. He was wronged and did nothing, but he does not know how to convince the police about the cannibal killer clowns living in the forest. And his new lawyer Lara came to ask him to tell her the whole story from the beginning, because she can get him out of here. The story is that he and his 5 friends were on a trip to one of the villages in the forest. His friends are Veronica with black hair and her boyfriend Scott, their strange friend Donnie, their friend Sarah and her boyfriend Michael, and the single girl with them is Casey, whom Jack is accused of killing because they found her blood on his clothes. They were all going to a village called Mangover to discover the truth about a massacre that happened there a long time ago, where young people were killed and dismembered, and they wanted to find out if this legend was real or not. They were all enjoying themselves and excited, and the village was in the middle of an isolated forest that people had already left. They reached the entrance of the forest, parked their cars far from it, and started exploring. They couldn't find any people at all. Then Casey asked Scott, her friend, why Jack is always gloomy. He told her that ever since his girlfriend cheated on him with his best friend, he has been coming with them to try to forget. They entered old houses and places in the village, but found no one, and everything was very old. Donnie was exploring and suddenly found a gun pointed at his head and a man telling him, "I'll kill you because you broke into my place, my village, and my forest." Donnie had no choice but to scream so his friends could hear him and come to him. They heard the screaming, ran to him, and it turned out the man was just joking with them because he thought they would film him and put him on TV. He told them the village used to be the beating heart of the forest, but people fled when they started finding human remains in the forest and many people disappeared. He lives there because he has nowhere else to go and advised them not to wander in the forest because it is dangerous and whoever enters doesn't come back. But they didn't care. One of the girls was running in the forest from the killers who locked her up, and she escaped from them because they were going to eat her. She felt she had lost them and hid, but when she tried to continue running away, they caught up with her, surrounded her, and killed her. So, it's not just one killer here. There are killer clowns who are cannibals. The group stopped at a gas station because they got lost on the way to Mangover Village. They entered the shop to ask people for directions because they didn't have a map. Suddenly, Donnie met a girl named Candy who told him she was a clown and worked in the circus. There was a nearby hotel where they could spend the night for free. Donnie went to his friends and told them about the circus and the hotel and the beautiful Candy as well. It was getting late, and they had to go down to the hotel. Candy seemed kind, and they all loved her. For the first time, Don met a girl he loved. He fell for her at first sight. Meanwhile, the only man who lives in the middle of the forest heard news on the radio about 3 escaped criminals. The police warned everyone to stay inside, saying the criminals were heading toward an isolated village in the forest. There was no village more isolated than Mangover. Donnie shared with everyone the strange dream he always had, wearing a wedding suit with his beautiful bride, who suddenly corners him, ties him up, and uses a saw to cut him, enjoying drinking his blood and eating his flesh. He even enjoyed the dream. Everyone laughed, not knowing whether it would become real. They were approaching Bandicoot, where a killer clown named Kafir and his assistant Louis were moving across the south, hosting circuses in different areas and villages, killing and torturing people. But unlike others, they didn't eat human flesh. Kafir had once belonged to the killer clowns of the jungle but went independent for this reason. The young men arrived at the hotel, unaware of the news. The media speculated about the 3 criminals, but the bigger danger was the killer clowns. No one was at the hotel when they arrived until the strange, giant manager appeared and booked 3 rooms. 1 for the girls, 1 for the guys, and 1 just for Dawn, who was preparing to win Candy's heart. The girls were surprised by the empty place, but they didn't mind being the only guests. The guys stayed up late, and Jack still couldn't forget his cheating ex. He played some music with his friend Michael. Michael and his girlfriend Sarah went exploring and found Candy's circus in the forest, which was set to begin that night. The circus was called Big Top Evil. Casey took the opportunity to comfort Jack, sharing her past betrayals and offering him encouragement. Unbeknownst to them, the butcher clown was watching. Everyone got ready and went to the circus. The village people looked strange, which unsettled the group, but Candy reassured them, especially Dawn, who was completely focused on her. Michael noticed a child worshiping him, then walking away quickly. Everyone felt uneasy about the circus and the strange villagers. They returned to Over Village, but Candy soon followed to apologize and invited them to dinner with her and her family. Due to Don's insistence, they agreed. Meanwhile, the three escaped criminals, Lars, Lehman, and their leader, Cole, were bloodthirsty and armed, looking for a village to loot and destroy. They entered a quiet village bank, found no guards, and easily stole the money, warning the employees to cooperate. After fleeing with the cash, they headed toward the village of the Killer Clowns. Back at the hotel, Donnie had another dream. He was in the forest, staring at a strange clown who warned him, "You will die soon, and they will eat you." Candy appeared in the dream just before Donnie woke up, shaken. The criminals, wanting to celebrate their stolen wealth, entered the store where the young men had been and stole drinks without paying. When an old woman tried to stop them with a weapon, they killed her and took what they wanted. Then, in real life, Candy came to Donnie after his dream and invited him to the old building, promising a big surprise he would love. She gave him a drink, claiming it was good for his health, and she drank from it to reassure him. But she was used to it and it wouldn't affect her, unlike him who felt dizzy and was about to faint. She brought a stick, hit him, and kidnapped him to her slaughterhouse. He found himself wearing a wedding suit and tied up exactly as he dreamed and as he told the group in the car. Candy came to him after taking off her wig, wearing a wedding dress, and fulfilled his dream. She brought a saw and started cutting him up, with blood everywhere, and she was drinking from it. She was actually one of the Killer Clowns, and everyone was next. The group went to the dinner and said Donnie would definitely catch up with them and he was probably with Candy, his new girlfriend. The leader and all the clowns welcomed them to the big top evil dinner. Veronica wanted to explore the place because she was worried about them. Jack also felt anxious and was going to leave his friends to check on Casey. The clown was not happy but didn't care at the same time. Suddenly, Veronica found a human eye in the soup, which already looked strange, and told her boyfriend Scott that she was going to the bathroom and he went with her. Meanwhile, the three criminal killers arrived at the Killer Clown Village, and Casey was exploring one of the rooms in the place and found a girl who laughed at her and seemed happy. When Casey asked her where her mother was, she said her new clown siblings and family ate her, and a killer clown attacked her. The clown family would remove the soup and bring out the main course of the day, which was the head of their friend Donnie. The clowns were arguing over who would eat the brain. The group ran away quickly, not believing what was happening, and the killers would chase them. But after eating, of course. When Veronica told Scott about the human eye, he didn't believe her and told her the soup tasted good and rich. But she said it was rich because it was made from humans. The leader of the thieves was watching and listening to them, laughing, and told them he was a cop and they had to enter his safe room, and he would go check on the cannibals. They fell into the trap, and he led them to the thieves, who imprisoned them, and Casey escaped from the clown who attacked her. She found Jack and told him, "The clowns are going to kill us." He tries to calm her down, and they decide to look for all their friends to escape from here. The whole village is full of killers, and they're clowns too, and they eat humans. That's why Michael bit the child at the beginning. He was tasting his flesh. Jack and Casey found all the rooms locked except for one. When they entered it, they found themselves facing a dead-end wall. The problem is, it was moving and getting closer, about to crush them all. The door wouldn't open, and the floor opened up, dropping them into the basement because the door jammed. The trap can't crush them now. Sarah was devastated by what happened, and Michael was with her. They entered the only open room and fell into the thieves' trap. Lars and Lehman caught up with Scott and Veronica, their friends, and Casey was trying to wake up Jack's friend from fainting. They had to find a way out of there. They heard a strange sound and smelled a foul odor. They saw many corpses around. Them, because there was a killer clown monster behind them, hungry and wanting to eat them, not knowing where to start. Jack or Casey? He went for Casey, but Jack found a sharp iron rod on the ground, attacked the clown, saved Casey, and killed him. Michael kept warning the thieves about the killer, cannibal clowns, but they would never believe him. "There are no killers here except us," they said. They told them, "Don't worry, we won't eat you. There are no killers here except us." And they said, "Don't worry, we won't eat you. We'll just torture and kill you, that's all." They kept mocking them, and the leader, Cole, heard a noise outside. He took his weapon and went to check. The killer clowns were ready for tonight's hunt. Cole sensed them and became suspicious. When they tried to attack him, he killed 2 of them but found no more. He was happy, but the problem was the village would come for him because of the gunshots. They brought all their weapons, attacked him, killed him, and started eating him. Layman and Lars heard what happened and went to check on their leader, leaving the others alone. They found a friendly clown, but it was just a trap for them. The killers threw their weapon traps at them. They killed Lars and Layman to catch up with their leader, Cole. The young people decided to escape, since they were alone after Lars and Layman left them. The killer clowns were watching them, and Veronica got separated from her boyfriend, Scott. Both of them got separated from the rest of their friends. Since they were divided and alone, they were easy prey for the killer clowns, who surrounded and killed them. The clowns were waiting for more people to come so the night would be even more fun. When Michael and Sarah split up from Scott and Veronica, they found themselves in a dead end. They heard the clowns coming, so they hid and watched as the clowns moved the bodies to their slaughterhouse to clean, cut, eat, and store the rest for later. The killers failed to spot them, and Michael and Sarah couldn't believe they made it. When they escaped, they found Jack and Casey and joined them to hide together. But the place wasn't safe, and hiding wasn't the solution. Jack said they had to escape and head for their cars, which were parked far from the forest. They would sneak out to reach them. Everyone was scared, but they had no other choice. Either way, they would die at the hands of the clowns if they surrendered, or they could try to reach their cars. They sneaked out of the forest and heard a strange sound. Suddenly, the lights went out. The whole village was disguised as killer clowns, surrounding them in front and with cars too, all wanting to kill and eat them. There was no way they could escape, and the female leader let out her alluring call to start the clown hunt. The young people ran as fast as they could, but the killers in the cars followed them, and they got separated out of fear because there were too many clowns and too few of them. Sarah tried to catch her breath from running, but Candy appeared and killed her, laughing and enjoying the blood, wanting more. Michael tried to hide, but the killers found him, attacked him, and he surrendered. The killer clown wouldn't just kill him, he had to torture him first, then kill him, because he believed the meat would taste better when cooked or grilled that way. They hung him on a hook, tortured him, and killed Michael for good, with the killer fully enjoying it. Only Jack and Casey managed to escape from the forest and the killer clowns. They found a police car on the road, but they didn't know that the police officer was actually one of the clowns. The people here and the whole village are insane. The police stopped for them and reassured them he would take them somewhere safe, but unfortunately, he took them back to the clown village and locked them up. Jack saw Casey being killed and eaten in front of him, her blood covering his clothes, and he escaped from the clown's hideout, kept running from them in the forest for 3 days until he passed out and woke up in the hospital after being rescued. Because of the blood on him, they thought he was responsible for Casey and their friend's disappearance. But after a while, the police found the monster clown's body but didn't find Casey's body or any of her friends because they were all killed. That's why there was no solid evidence that Jack was behind their disappearance or even their deaths. He was released, and no one ever found the clowns again, as if they disappeared into the forest. Jack went back to playing his music, trying to continue his miserable life and forget the past. But the clowns follow him and won't leave him alive. In the forest, on the road near Mangover Village, 2 young men found an injured girl who looked in danger. She told them she needed help. They let her in and gave her a ride. They made a huge mistake because she was the one luring people to the clown village to be eaten. They thought she needed help, but the truth is, they were the ones who needed help. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all new updates. See you in the next video.